Hello everyone, it's me, it's Porter, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't planning on posting this video right after my last video, but I changed my mind after I saw the comments on that video. Seriously, you guys are insane! When I asked you to be as thorough as possible in your critiques, I wasn't expecting you to actually send me multiple paragraphs of suggestions. I'm just baffled. Thank you. It makes me really happy to see that you're all just as passionate about this project as I am. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then allow me to give you some context. Earlier last week, I posted a very shoddy video announcing that I'm going to be making my own Fakemon region. In that video, I introduced you to the starter Pokemon and gave you a quick crash course on their inspirations. If you haven't seen that video, then what are you doing? Watch the videos in order. Pause this one right now and go watch that one so that you know what's going on. Alright, are you done? Great, then we can continue. At the very end of the video, I told you to focus your suggestions on the grass starters so that I could redesign them first. In this video, I'll be redesigning them. Just as a quick reminder, the grass starters are all based on axolotls, the practice of plant cutting, and later, the Aztec god of lightning, Xoleef. Now that you have the basic idea of what we're working with, let's get to the art. Fun fact! I designed the first form of the grass starter while I was streaming on Twitch, and I plan to do the same for the other two starters as well. So if you want to be a part of the creative process, you should follow me on Twitch. There will be a link in the description below and in the iCards right here, right there. There's a big arrow. I'm gonna put a big arrow in post. There's a big arrow telling you where the iCards are. Anywho, the very first form of the grass starter is called Xoleef. Its name is a combination of axolotl and leaf, and I honestly thought my first pass on the design was pretty good. It was cute, it had good starter energy, but a lot of you pointed out that it needed to be simplified. Honestly, you were right. The gills were super overcomplicated, and the sharp angles of the leaf made the whole silhouette of the Pokemon look a bit confusing. In my second attempt at Xoleef, I decided to keep the whole design pretty smooth and limit the amount of jagged edges. A version of the grass starters made by one of my subscribers used Monstera leaves in the design. I really liked that idea, so I wanted to incorporate it into the tail. For those of you who don't know, Monstera plants are a type of flora native to Central America, just like axolotls. As I was attempting to incorporate them into the design, a member of my Twitch chat informed me that juvenile Monstera leaves actually look very different from the adult. So I stuck with the simplistic route and made the tail a juvenile Monstera leaf. Another idea that I really liked was one that quite a few of you had. It was the quite morbid idea of chopping off Xoleef's head. Wait, that sounds really bad without context. Hold on a second. Let me explain. Xoleef's Pokédex entry heavily implies that it's only a small part of a much larger Pokemon, and its final evolution Florolotl's Pokédex entry straight up tells you that Xoleef is its cut-off tail turned into a new Pokemon. This detail is based on the axolotl's ability to regenerate lost limbs and the practice of plant cutting. Plant cutting is the gardening practice in which you cut off a piece of one plant, like a leaf or a stem or something like that, and you plant it somewhere else. After a bit of time, the leaf from the first plant will grow into an entirely new plant. You might be wondering to yourself, what does this have to do with cutting off Xoleef's head? Well, making the face completely flat with designs that make it look like the cross-section of a stem help add to the concept of Xoleef being the cut-off tail of Florolotl. The last thing I needed to do was simplify the gills, and for that I took inspiration from another subscriber. They curled the gills up to make them resemble the armor of Florolotl, and I thought that was a really good idea. For the colors, I used a slightly more saturated version of Xoleef's original palette, with a few extra designs to break up the negative space. I even attempted to texture the cross-section, the leaf, and the roots. This helped them seem a bit rougher than the smooth axolotl body. Xoleef, the cutting Pokemon, a grass type. There is evidence that Xoleef is actually a small part of a much larger Pokemon described in legends to the south. Its lack of many vital organs and strange shape have led scientists to believe that Xoleef is a tail that gains sentience. Though not much is known about its origins, Xoleef's behavior is much like that of a plant. It prefers to stay still, raising its tail to collect energy from the sun. Xoleef makes its home in wetlands, where it uses its root-like gills to absorb water and nutrients from the ground. I'm really happy with Xoleef 2.0. Honestly, I think it might be my new favorite starter. Sorry to all the M-Bird fans out there, but can you really blame me? This new version of Xoleef is just so cute. If you like it too, then let me know in the comments down below. I always love reading your thoughts and feedback on my designs. They help me grow into a better artist with each design that I show you. Oh, and don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed already, then just make sure you are still subscribed. I think I've been having issues with losing subscribers recently, and I refuse to blame those issues on myself because, as you all know, I'm absolutely flawless. Okay. Jokes aside, let's move on to Propaxol. Propaxol is the second form of the grass starter line, and its name comes from propagate and axolotl. It's inspired by the same concepts as Xoleef, but now has the visual motif of being a budding flower. Propaxol definitely got the most drastic redesign of the three starters. A lot of you said it was okay, but I just found its body really awkward and confusing, and it just needed to be scrapped. In the new design, I started with the head, changing it to look more like the flower bud it's supposed to be. Propaxol uses the flower bud as a mask to hide its face, but the first pass didn't really do too much to inform you that that was the case. A lot of you suggested that I make the eyes smaller than the eye holes to help imply depth, so I gave the mask big, intimidating eye holes to make the real eyes look smaller and meeker. After that, I kept the leaf gills and the tail, but started to transition the leaves between the juvenile and adult stages of the Monstera plant. This gave them a more interesting shape that would help the silhouette stand out a little bit more. I was even able to incorporate Xoleef's old roots as they now curl down to resemble the chest plate of Florolotl. Pretty much everyone agreed with me when I said that Propaxol should be quadrupedal, so I put it on 4 legs, just like Xoleef. I wanted Propaxol's personality to move away from the emotionless blob that it was before, so I tried to make it look shy by curling its body behind it. When paired with the look in its eyes, it feels like Propaxol is using its leaf tail to hide itself from something behind it. For the colors, I used the same greens and browns that I used in Xoleef and added yellow where the flower petals poke out from behind the mask. I also added a new shade of green that will remain unique to Propaxol. Propaxol, the budding Pokemon, and the evolved form of Xoleef, a grass type. Propaxol is a shy and reserved Pokemon that uses the thick leaves on its head as a mask to keep its face hidden. The reason for this behavior is still unknown. Some theorize that Propaxol is undergoing some kind of metamorphosis, while others believe that it is just self-conscious about its appearance. Propaxol has incredible regenerative abilities that scientists have been trying to replicate for decades. When its leaves are in direct sunlight, Propaxol can regrow lost limbs and heal normally irreversible damage in a matter of seconds. I think that this version of Propaxol is a massive improvement on the original. It works so much better as a transition between Xoleef and Florolotl, and it has its own discernible personality now. Let me know what all of you think of Propaxol in the comments down below. Anywho, we've seen Xoleef, we've seen Propaxol, it's time to move on to the final evolution, Florolotl. Florolotl was definitely the most difficult redesign of the 3. I knew exactly what I wanted to change, but unlike Xoleef and Propaxol, I didn't know how I was going to change it. I liked the original design the best out of the 3 fully evolved starters, so it was difficult to think of ways to improve upon it. Luckily, I had all of you for that. My initial problems with Florolotl were the armor and the fact that it had a hard time conveying its electric type. Most people liked the armor since it helped convey the concept of Florolotl being an Aztec god, but thought it needed to be tweaked just slightly to make more anatomical sense. So to fix that problem, I added a longish neck that helped keep the head separate from the body, giving Florolotl a more distinguished chest area for the armor to sit. As for the problem of it not looking like an electric type, I got a lot of different suggestions on how to fix that. The one I liked the most was a design by one of the people in my Discord server. By the way, if you haven't already joined my Discord server, that's another great place to give me suggestions for the other two starters. Anywho, their version of Florolotl added zigzagging patterns to the design that helped convey the electric typing. I took that idea and added it to my design, and suddenly it looked a lot more like an electric type. That concludes the problems that I had with the design, but a lot of you were not big fans of the face and the head shape. And I kind of get it. The head shape was a pretty easy fix. I just took from another design that I found on Discord. Not only did the artist give the head a more interesting shape, they also added these cool adornments that tie into the rest of the armor. As for the face, I didn't want to change much. I made the eyes look more mischievous, but I kept the mouth the same. The big teeth were probably the part of the face that a lot of people didn't like, but they were designed specifically to mimic the Aztec depictions of the god of lightning Xoleef, a major inspiration for Florolotl's design. So I wasn't gonna change them. The last thing I redesigned was the overall shape of Florolotl. I got some feedback saying that the smooth body paired with the jagged leaves of the original Florolotl made its silhouette a bit confusing. So I changed the leaf to be less jagged and resemble an adult Monstera leaf. I also ditched the claws and gave it big, round fingers. The colors are the same colors that I used for the rest of the designs, new and old. I used the bright yellow of the petals and the jagged designs on the arms, legs, and tail, and used the lighter green from Xoleef for some of the other details. Oh, and one last thing before I hand it over to the Pokedex voice. Florolotl's name is a combination of floral, axolotl, and Xoleef. Florolotl, the full bloom Pokemon, and the final evolved form of Xoleef, a grass and electric type. Florolotl has baffled scientists with its supernatural regenerative abilities. When its life comes to an end, Florolotl will channel all of its energy into its tail, disconnecting it from the rest of its body. The discarded tail will then transform into a Xoleef with the memories of its previous life. Florolotl can generate electricity by using its petal-like gills to absorb sunlight. Occasionally, it will generate too much electricity, creating an electromagnetic field that attracts storm clouds. Okay, I liked Florolotl before, but I like it a lot more now. This redesign was definitely a much-needed upgrade. In fact, I think all of the redesigns turned out really great. I like them so much more than the originals, and I hope you do too. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. If you don't, let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing your feedback, so don't be afraid to give it to me. Next week, I'll be redesigning the fire starters, Embered, Burntu, and Eternix. So go check out my last video to see what they're all about. After you do that, you can give me some feedback here, there, or in my Discord server. With that being said, I hope you all liked the video. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope you all have a great day, and just remember, Porter was here.